Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. All right, I'm finally going to make a video about this. For the last couple weeks in particular, there's been a steady flow of various people on social media talking about this insane idea of the United States government buying back XRP from the everyday holder. Now, in the way that most people talk about this, the answer is a firm no, and I'm going to talk about this. It's just pure nonsense. Like to me, it seems like it's people who are either very fringe and easy, like the type that's ready to believe conspiracy theory stuff. Not that there aren't ever conspiracy theories, of course there are sometimes, but it's the people where their brains, they jump to that other than, I wonder if there's a rational reason for this crazy sounding thing. They don't go there first. That's what my brain goes there first. I'm like, oh, maybe there's a rational reason. Some people's brains work differently and they go to the crazy side first without exhausting any potential rational reason. And so I think it's a lot of those type of people. And then there are also people that are brand new to finance and crypto in general. And they're just asking about it and entertaining ideas because they don't know any better. And that's much more easy to understand. So I want to say some thoughts about this because I've intentionally not made a video about this. I've been observing this, and finally I'm just like, no. And also, Attorney John Deaton talked about the idea of an XRP buyback, but I want to tell you right here, even at the outset of the video, he is not talking about what some of the fringe people in the XRP community are talking about when he talks about the concept of an XRP buyback. He is talking about something very different from a legal perspective as restitution if the SEC potentially wins. That's why there's this article on your screen. This dates back to July 6th. People have been talking about this for a long time and still are. This piece from Finance Feeds titled, "What if Ripple Loses and XRP is Deemed a Security?" But look, before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I'm not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, there's a tweet from my fellow XRP YouTuber Crypto Eddie literally yesterday, and she was broaching the subject, and she wrote the following. "Not my first rodeo for buyback talk. May 2018, there was a once well-respected community member that started a buyback firestorm. 5 undisputable XRP facts. Number 1, it's not just for banks. Number 2, no single party can take control / decide its future. 3, it's used globally. SEC who? Number 4, the XRP community has been used too many times for me to count as a means to only make profit for a few. And number 5, the blockchain community is slowly losing the ethos clearly stated in the Cypherpunk Manifesto. Sad but true." And so look, I share the sentiment, this idea that the United States government is going to purchase XRP because you can't, it's worth too much. You can't have the little man owning that. And just, if you just stop for half a second and think about the implications of this, even if the government could own all of it and no retail investor could hold it in the United States or throughout the world, there's no volatility. Do you understand what causes volatility? It's humans speculating in open markets, people willing to buy and sell, the emotional, irrational humans out there. They enter price discovery. And it really, markets are irrational frequently, right? Certainly crypto's nuts, that's for sure. So imagine if the United States just held it all. It's just alphanumeric code. And there's nobody's trading it now? Then what the hell is it actually worth? What value is there in that for any government if it's just a government holding it? Did you think about this at all? What a half-baked idea. It's completely, it's laughable. It's obviously laughable. There are some people that think this. So look, consider this. Buybacks are a real thing, though. So a stock buyback frequently occurs when a company wants to reinvest in itself. In fact, earlier this year, Ripple bought its own shares back after a 2019 funding round, for example. And so there's this article on your screen right here. This is from January 26, 2022, titled "Ripple Announces $200 Million Share Buyback and Expresses Optimism for 2022. And so I covered this story when it happened. I'm just bringing it up since it's part of the concept of what we're discussing right here. Now, separate from that, there is an opportunity for an XRP buyback, according to Attorney John Deaton, but, as I stated a moment ago, it's not what many in the XRP community would guess it is. In my experience, again, it tends to be the conspiracy theory types that talk about an XRP buyback, but people will say things like XRP is so valuable that the government wants to buy it from you because they don't want you to be rich. Rah, 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 rah. Or they'll shout a wacky idea like, the government is going to pay you $37,500 per XRP to each holder, which is also absolutely insane. But I've seen these things discussed. They are, again, fringe opinions and not representative of the XRP community as a whole, but I feel it necessary to address this stuff given current discussion, which doesn't seem to be dying down even after roughly a couple weeks. But again, this is not what Attorney John Deaton is talking about. But I will show you some of the kooky stuff right after I show you what Attorney John Deaton is talking about. And it's really Looney Tunes land stuff here, which is why I haven't talked about this on the channel for a long time. But for some reason, it's just persisting. Like after a couple weeks, I'm like, fine, geez, I'll talk about it. Geez, I get it. You want a Moon Lambo hot jam about the cray cray. Got it. But there was, where was it? Wait, hold on, sorry. I think I just lost my spot. Wait, was this where? Oh, here. Sorry guys. It was right here. Yeah, so there's a question posed to John Deaton from a guy named also John, but J-O-N. He said, so what happens to XRP holders if XRP is declared a security and has to be registered with the SEC? It looks like no one is explaining this part. And perfectly reasonable question. It's been discussed, but it's been a while since it's been widely discussed within the community. That's the type of stuff that we were talking about towards the beginning part of when this nonsense started in late 2020 and early part of 2021. Attorney Deaton did respond to that, and he said the following. Most likely, the status quo would remain in effect during an appeal. A buyback could be arranged for those in the United States. I know the SEC offered a buyback of the VERI token, that's V-E-R-I token, but I do not know the specific. It's up in the air, to be honest. Now, I wasn't familiar with the VERI token. It was interesting seeing John Deaton talk about any form of an XRP buyback. And so I did a little bit of Googling here. And here you can see this is from the SEC's official website, August 13th, 2019. This is titled, SEC obtains freeze of $8 million in assets in alleged fraudulent token offering and manipulation scheme. And so this is the VERI token, which stands for Veritasium, if I'm saying that right, and I may not be, which is actually still being traded, but it's almost completely illiquid. It's worth $18 at an all-time high of $205. This is Live CoinWatch showing that. 24-hour volume, $17,000 with a market cap of $37 million. So good luck cashing that out. Just saying. But it's traded on like Uniswap. I'd never heard of the damn thing before, but it was just kind of interesting here. And in reading through it further, it seemed to me like the government was basically setting up some sort of fund to pay back people that were, quote unquote, air quotes, like harmed because of the token. That's what it looked like to me. So I don't know for sure if the buyback is a correct. John could be right. I'm not saying he's right or wrong. I'm just saying from what I read, I didn't see the term buyback used, but I could be missing stuff. I don't pretend to be a pro on Veritasium. Again, I just learned about it recently. But somebody named Kashta wrote to John after this talk about buyback, and he wrote the following. He said, "Hello, John. Unfortunately, crypto Twitter is a space that can run wild off the mention of things like buybacks. Can you please explain your usage of the term before others try to explain what you mean without knowing?" Which, by the way, John did nothing wrong, but I appreciate also that Kashta asked that because Kashta must have been around long enough to understand exactly how certain fringe elements of the community can respond to words like that. He is correct. I've been around long enough to see this. And John responded, and he did clarify what he was talking about. He said, "I was referencing the Veritasium case. My understanding is the SEC seized 98% of the VERI tokens. The SEC created a fund from the money it seized and offered VERI holders a buyback if they sold the tokens back to the SEC at a set price." And so again, I wasn't trying to contradict John Deaton. I mean, if that's the actual correct term to use and I just didn't see it where I was researching, that's fine. But it sounds like whether you call it a buyback or not, like the idea behind it does seem to have occurred. So I'm not disputing that, just to be clear here. And then John also said, the Veritasium case involved Reggie Middleton, but I'm not sure what Reggie can comment on, if he can comment at all. I know it involved patents that Reggie was later awarded, and many Very holders are passionate about the case. I haven't had time to become an expert in the case, however. So it's an interesting concept. Like, can we do this? I mean, again, it's common in stock, right? But with XRP, well, again, that gets into Looney Tune lands. But just to prove you, like, people are talking about this. This is several months ago. This is a post on Reddit. And this was titled, "How does a Fed Reserve buyback of XRP alleviate national debt?" I just, like, my eyes roll, and like I facepalm when I read this stuff. Okay, think about the mechanics of this. Okay, so we're going to alleviate national debt by giving a bunch of money. Maybe you have to print new money. Maybe you give existing funds. I don't know where you're going to allocate it from. So you maybe just print a bunch of new money, creating more debt to give it to people that happen to have a cryptocurrency. And then for what price? Open market price? Well, some people say $37,500 because there's somebody that's been pushing that in the community. It's really out there stuff. And so think about this. What are the mechanics? Okay, so we create new debt by creating more dollars so we can afford to give X amount of dollars to these people who have not done anything of economic value. And then we have these XRP tokens, and we have them. It just makes me think of, like, the underpants gnomes from South Park. Anybody you familiar with it? You should Google it if you've never seen this. Just Google underpants gnomes. It's hilarious. They go around at night stealing people's underpants. And then when confronted with why are they doing this, they go to this little chalkboard. I'm pulling from memory, but it was something like, why are you stealing everyone's underpants? And then this little gnome walks up to the chalkboard, and he's got phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. And he says, phase 1, steal underpants. Phase 2, and then there's nothing there. And then he skips over to phase 3, profit. It's hysterical. It's really hysterical. So this is the underpants gnomes all over again. There is no phase 2, but yes, profit. Because reasons, right? All of this makes sense, right? So then the Fed has a bunch of XRP that it bought, but did it just buy it from the United States? And then what's it going to do? Dump it on the market, driving down the price, and then it's going to get what out of it? Like, what asset is it getting if it's selling it? Like, what is it? Or it's just going to hold it and then it's worth more? Relative to what? My God, it's another half-baked scheme. Like, people just don't know what the hell they're talking about. Like, some people need to lose talking privileges. You know what I mean? At least for, like, have a timeout in the hallway or something. I don't know. I'm just saying. And so then there was this from Crypto Timeless website sharing another video talking about this. And this video is titled, "XRP holders possible Federal Reserve buyback deal on the cards? Would you sell?" And this one was, when was this from? I think it was October of last year. People have been talking about this nonsense crap for years. And I feel like I feel obligated to be the voice of reason when nonsense like this comes. I have to push back against this. It's pure nonsense hopium. Like, snort up some hopium, off a, I'm not going to say it. It's family friendly. You can use your imagination there. But anyway, check this out. So this reads as follows. So it appears Scott Minott, president of Valhill Capital, has put forward a proposal to the Federal Reserve to buy back all XRP tokens from the XRP army. The lucrative proposal hinted at XRP's price prediction was once again to be in the $10,000 to $30,000 price range. Face palm. No. It's grinding my gears, folks. Continues, though. A letter to the XRP Army was put out back in August 21st, 2021, stating that your buyer is not another retail investor at an exchange yelling $5, $10, or even $100 at you. Your buyer is the most powerful institution in the history of the world, clearly meaning the Federal Reserve. So think about this. Current price of XRP, 32 cents or something like that. So what the Federal Reserve is going to do is they're going to pay you $37,500 for each of your XRP, even though they could just buy it over the counter on a cryptocurrency exchange for the market rate of 32 cents. What in the ever-loving hell? It could not be more obvious. This discussion has literally been going on in the fringe portion of the XRP community for years. I don't get the appeal. What is the malfunction here? There ain't no damn sense to Moon Lambo up in this bitch. All right. Let me know what you think. I think that's it. I'm just going to wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.